You little imp. Are you enjoying watching me in such a state? Am I? Do I look as though I'm enjoying it? Not at all. Sophie paused to choose her words. Her eyes were shining so brightly that no one could have taken their eyes off her. I think it serves you right. You really are a little imp, he said. Here I am, having a hard time suppressing my urges. Yet, in her eyes, she thinks I deserve it. She's truly a naughty little imp. That's enough. You should hurry up and go, Sophie said as she pushed Tristan out. After he left, she headed to the golf course with Carl. When they arrived and saw that the people from Starlight International were not there yet, Carl was slightly worried. After all, Sophie was still just a woman regardless of her accomplishments, and Howard was not a nice guy. Miss Sophie, how about asking Mr. Tristan to join us? He asked. Mr. Tristan is her boyfriend, isn't he? As long as she says the word, he'll definitely come over. Do you think I can't handle the situation? She responded, arching her brow. In truth, she had no intention of collaborating with Starlight International anymore and was only there to teach Howard a lesson. That's not what I meant, Miss Sophie. I was only worried about you. Honestly, Carl replied. It did not take much to make him nervous whenever he was with her. Her aura was simply too terrifying. All right. Don't worry, Mr. Himmer. Nobody will dare to bully you on my watch. Sophie was exceptionally calm and composed. She took a sip of coffee, thinking that it tasted pretty good. Carl was bereft of speech. I'm a grown man. I'm not afraid of getting bullied. Miss Sophie is a young lady who's as beautiful and delicate as a flower. She really is the type that'd easily arouse one's desire to do something evil. However, since she has said that, it wouldn't look good for me to stand here and continue making unnecessary remarks. Seeing that those from Starlight International were already over an hour late, he looked toward her anxiously. He guessed she must have never encountered such people. Miss Sophie, why don't we head back first? They're probably not going to show up today, he ventured. He must have gotten stood up. These guys from Starlight International have crossed the line. What's the hurry? Even if we go back, we've nothing else to do anyway. I want to meet Howard today. After all, she had come to drag Howard to Victor and make him apologize on his knees. Carl did not know what to say. She's totally not what I expected her to be like. But then again, we haven't spent that much time with her. Nonetheless, having led Tanner Group to its current success, she must be a capable person. Otherwise, Mr. Victor wouldn't have given her his loyalty wholeheartedly. Mr. Himmer, don't panic when something happens. Just calm down. There's nothing that can't get resolved, she continued. As long as she was around, nothing would go wrong. Hence, he did not have to worry about anything. Okay, he answered. What else could he say? After another 10 minutes, Howard finally showed up with a group of people in tow. It was Howard's first time seeing Sophie, as he had only communicated with Victor previously. You are. When Howard saw such a gorgeous woman before him, his sinister gaze lit up instantly, and it completely slipped his mind that he had brought a female companion with him. Good day. I'm Sophie Tanner from Tanner Group. Good day. I'm Howard Linder from Starlight International. Ms. Tanner, if you had come before this time to discuss the collaboration with me, I believe we would have surely worked something out, he replied. I just don't like that Victor. What's so special about him? He always thinks he's the bee's knees. Oh, really? Her gaze grew even icier. So that's how he wants to play it. Ms. Tanner, do you like playing golf? If you do, I can teach you, he said, leering at her. Not really. However, I'm not here to play golf with you, she answered, her tone glacial. He can forget about working together. I'm only here to settle the score. Oh. Have you come here to flirt with me then, Ms. Tanner? It would delight him immensely if that were the case. There were not many men who could refuse a woman like Sophie. I'm here to teach you a lesson on behalf of your parents. Howard's expression changed instantly. Does this woman know something? Otherwise, There's no way she'd say something like that. Mr. Linder, don't take any notice of her. The way I see it, she's just playing hard to get. Women like her are the worst. Who knows what she has done for Tanner Group to get to where it is today? Howard's female companion immediately took his arm. It had taken her considerable effort to latch onto him, and she was not about to give him up to anyone else. What nonsense are you talking about? She achieved all that through her capabilities. Everyone is as shameless as you. Carl piped up. Tanner Group's achievements are the result of everyone's you think concerted efforts. However, this woman dares to stand there and insult us. Ha! What's this? Are you also one of the men she has invited to warm her bed? Carl felt as though he was about to explode from anger at her words. How can such a disgusting woman exist on this earth? As if it's not enough that she's so filthy-minded, she even thinks all other women are like her. You have a point. I don't care for women like you, Ms. Tanner. Even if you want to teach me a lesson on behalf of my parents, that'll have to depend on whether you have what it takes to do so or not. No sooner had Howard said that than the several burly men behind him stepped forward and shifted into threatening stances. Bring her back. All of you have been thirsting for a woman recently, haven't you? When the time comes, you can all take turns to have your fill. Howard uttered without any sense of shame. All she has is a pretty face. What's the big deal about that? No matter how great Tanner Group is, it'll never compare to Starlight International. That was what Howard thought. Otherwise, he would not have dared to behave so insolently. Ha! Sophie sneered. Just as I thought, he's a piece of trash. He's not worthy of collaborating with us. When Carl saw the burly men approaching, he immediately moved to stand in front of Sophie. What do you think you're doing? Don't come any nearer. Otherwise, he genuinely wanted to protect Sophie. However, he was a mild-mannered and bookish man who had never encountered such a situation. Step aside, Mr. Himmer, Sophie said somewhat helplessly. Nonetheless, she thought it was quite impressive of him to dare shield her at such a time. Mr. Linder, why waste time talking to them? Since she dared to go against you, you shouldn't show her a shred of mercy, the female companion added, continuing to stir up trouble. She thought that Sophie was too beautiful, which made her feel threatened. Hence, that was the only way she could think of to eliminate the sense of threat. Why are you guys just standing there? Take her back immediately, Howard instructed. I'll let the others have her after I've had my fun with her. Her looks are very captivating, and her personality fills one with the urge to conquer her. However, just as those mighty men reached Sophie, Sophie made her move. She was swift, and in less than 5 minutes, she had downed them all. Howard's expression darkened. Those men he brought that day were all capable fighters because he was always stirring up trouble. Yet, they could not hold their ground against Sophie. Even his female companion was frightened. She could not wrap her head around why things had turned out this way. Moreover, she had uttered many humiliating insults earlier, and she was afraid that the other woman would punch her in retaliation. Howard gulped. Carl was equally dumbfounded. Is Ms. Sophie that impressive? So I'm the one making a fool of myself. I can't believe I was thinking of protecting Ms. Sophie earlier too. What in the world was I thinking about? Howard's female companion no longer dared to stick around at that point. Mr. Linder, I suddenly remembered I have something to do, so I'm going to take my leave first. The woman then scurried away. Howard wanted to escape too, but right as he was about to discreetly move backward, Sophie stepped over to his front. Howard turned red in the face. Ms. Tanner, what are you doing? We bear no grudges against each other. There must be a misunderstanding. A misunderstanding? Howard, I'm giving you one last chance. Why did you kidnap Victor White? Howard was quiet for a moment. So she's here because of Victor. What are you talking about? I have no idea what you're saying. I really don't. Did something happen to Victor? So what if I don't like Victor? What's the big deal about him? He doesn't have anyone powerful to back him up, but he really thought he could lord over me. But, of course, those were words that Howard would not say out loud. Is that so? It seems like you won't give up until the very last second, Sophie icily said. Howard's eyes flitted toward the men who were still on the ground. He turned paler. Ms. Tanner, didn't you want to collaborate with us? Let's do that, but you have to fire Victor. What happened between Victor and I is personal, was all Howard could say. Regardless of everything, he wanted the man he disliked gone. So, you really were the one who kidnapped him, Sophie said, satisfied. She had received her answer. Let's go. Where to? Howard trembled in fear. The woman looked like a goddess, but she was the devil incarnate the second she started fighting. To get on your knees and apologize. Sophie was walking ahead, so Howard tried to take the opportunity to run. However, Carl stopped him. Mr. Linder, I'd advise you against pointless struggling. You should know how impressive Ms. Tanner is in fighting. At that, Howard had no choice but to slink behind them. Once Sophie entered the car, Howard tried to climb in after her. Do you think you're worthy of sitting next to Ms. Sophie? Carl asked coldly. Howard arched a brow and wondered where he was supposed to sit. In the next second, Carl opened the trunk. Howard was about to fly into a rage. There was no one in Jipsdale who had ever treated him in this way. And yet, Sophie and Victor's secretary were trying to make themselves the exception. This way, please, Mr. Linder. An animal like you only deserves a spot in the trunk, Carl gleefully uttered. Howard had always been mean to them all, and Carl was finally getting the chance to get back at Howard. It felt amazing. You? Howard snarled, but Carl was not at all intimidated. That was because they had Sophie backing them. With Sophie present, there was no need for them to fear Howard. Hence, Howard had no choice but to climb into the trunk in shame before Carl closed the hatch. This feels awesome. This is the best feeling ever. Mr. Himmer, it's time for us to leave, Sophie prompted when she did not see Carl entering the car. Hearing that, Carl quickly got into the driver's seat and drove to the hospital. Victor had yet to fully recover. He had spent the past 2 days in the hospital, but he was still worried about Tanner Group. Despite his outward appearance of being unfazed by anything, he would dedicate his all to endeavors he deemed significant. When he saw Sophie appearing with Howard, he froze. Ms. Sophie, this is... Aren't we supposed to be working with Starlight International? If she did this to Howard, I'm afraid that this collaboration is over. However, in the next moment, Howard got on his knees. I'm so sorry, Mr. Victor. I was a fool. You're a magnanimous man, so please forgive me for my mistakes. Howard was terrified. He had been in the trunk for over half an hour, and he had been sure that he was going to die. Victor had been certain that Victor was the one behind the incident, but now that Victor was kneeling before him, he found himself not holding a grudge against Victor. Do you hate me that much, Howard? In the past, Victor was equally ruthless. It was normal for others to despise him as well. Despite Victor's question, Howard did not dare to speak. Speak, came Sophie's pleasant but apathetic voice. I'm so sorry, Mr. Victor. I wasn't thinking straight at that time. You know I'm not an evil person deep down, so please let me go. I'll collaborate with Tanner Group. Collaborate with Tanner Group? Do you think we'd work with a piece of trash like you? Howard Linder, here's the official news. Our collaboration is over. With that said, Sophie gave Carl a look. Listen up. Howard. This isn't over yet. Starlight International will be paying the price for the things you've done. Howard's face turned ashen. I'm sorry, Ms. Tanner. Please. Alas, Carl had thrown him out of the ward before he could finish his sentence. Wasn't he all high and mighty in the past? Didn't he act as if he was the best of the best? Ms. Sophie, you don't actually need to do this much for me, Victor started. The collaboration with Starlight International was rather crucial if he had to be honest. Mr. Victor, I'm not doing this for you. Collaborating with someone like Howard would only spell trouble in the future. I have faith in finding a better business partner than him, so don't worry. Howard had a problematic character, and if they were to work with him, issues were bound to appear. You're right, Ms. Sophie. Don't worry. Once I'm discharged from the hospital, I'll work even harder. After all, Tanner Group no longer needed to rely on anyone else. All right. Rest well, then. You don't need to worry about Tanner Group's matters. Come back when you've recovered. Just as Sophie returned from the hospital, she found Yale waiting for her by the mansion's entrance. He immediately walked up to her when he spotted her. Sophie, you should already know how your mother and I have no feelings for each other. I want a divorce from her. Yale would not have done anything about that in the past, but since everything was revealed, he might as well get a divorce. He wanted to be with Angelina. Angelina was bearing his child, so he needed to be responsible for that. Do you think you should be talking to me about this? Getting a divorce is up to them. What does this have to do with me? I'm here to tell you about it. Sophie, you know what kind of person your mother is and how she has treated you over the years. I can't stand to be with someone like her anymore. What does you wanting to get a divorce from her have anything to do with how she treated me? You've made a mistake, but you're putting the blame on someone else. Do you think it's good to do that? Divorce was not frightening. What was frightening was how Yale was trying to pin the blame for their failed marriage onto someone else. It was shameless. I just want to go after things I desire. I hope you'll support me in that. Yale did not wish to lose what he had in Tanner Group, and that was why he was saying such things to Sophie. He was old. If he were to lose Tanner Group as his support, he would not be able to continue sustaining his lifestyle. That was why he needed her support. I'll tell you the clear answer now. You won't have my support. From now on, you won't get Tanner Group's dividends anymore. Since you want to provide for your paramour, you should do it by relying on your own capabilities. Yale was so furious to hear those words that he could not say anything for a while. Sophie, I'm your father. How can you talk to me in this way? A part of Tanner Group is mine. Don't you dare think that you can have the entire company to yourself. Try your luck then. With that, Sophie ignored him. How can anyone truly like him for who he is? She must only love him for the shares he has. Unable to get any support from Sophie, Yale went to the Tanner residence. Charmaine remained expressionless when she saw him. There was nothing for her to say to him anymore. Charmaine, both of us have done wrong to come to this today, but I don't want to keep this up anymore. Let's get a divorce, Yale said straightforwardly. Charmaine paled even more. This day has finally come. I had thought that everything would be fine if I just said nothing, but ultimately, he still wants a divorce. Yale, do you know what you're saying? Are you really going to get a divorce from me? I married you when I was 20, and I bore 3 children for you. I've turned a blind eye to the shameful things you've done all these years, but you still want a divorce from me. She had never been this disappointed before. She thought she could have kept things as they were now. Yet, now that she had grown old, her husband was asking for a divorce. It was a situation she never imagined she would encounter. Stop that. We don't have feelings for each other anymore. How long has it been since we've slept with each other? Are we even still husband and wife? I have no feelings for you anymore, so let's end this here. What good will you get from this if we keep this up? We've been living separate lives all this time, haven't we? They no longer had any feelings for each other. Do you think what she and you have is true love? She only loves your money, not you. Young women will go for any old man as long as those men are rich. Didn't you marry me because of my money? Are you trying to put yourself on the moral high ground now? Yale had always known that Charmaine married him for his wealth. That was the scene Caleb came home to. Noticing the tense atmosphere between the two, he walked over to them instead of going upstairs. Dad, you're back. Good timing, Caleb. I want a divorce from your mother. Now that the 3 of you are all grown up, you can take care of yourselves. Caleb was taken aback by the suddenness of the matter. Dad, what are you talking about? Aren't we all happy as a family? Why do you want to get a divorce? Caleb, everyone has the right to pursue their own happiness, and that is what I'd like to do now. Yale, how shameless can you be? Are you genuinely trying to make cheating sound nice? Charmaine hissed, but surprisingly, she was calm. Perhaps it was because she had foreseen this day's arrival. Yale's expression darkened when he heard that. Charmaine, let's part on good terms. With that said, Yale turned to leave. He had already hired a lawyer for the case, and the lawyer was going to settle everything for him. Charmaine fell onto the couch once he was gone. At the end of the day, she was going to become the laughingstock of the town. Willow, who had overheard the conversation, came downstairs and hugged Charmaine. Mom, are you really going to get a divorce from Dad? Are we really going down this path? Is there no way to salvage Thirst? Willow was anxious. Her reputation was already ruined, and if her mother were to get a divorce, the future would be even bleaker for her. He's the one who wants to get a divorce from me, but it's not as if it's worth clinging to this marriage anymore, Charmaine muttered in a flat tone. Beating up the mistress one. Mom, you. Caleb wanted to console her, but he did not know where to start. He was partially at fault for his parents' current state. Mom, don't worry. I'll take care of you from now on. It was already pointless to keep things going, so a divorce would be best. Okay. Charmaine was still calm and quiet, but she was not going to let Yale have his way. While Caleb was not paying attention to her, she snuck out of the house. Before this, she had already found out where the mistress was living at. Charmaine told the driver to send her there. Angelina was stunned when she saw Charmaine, but she was not afraid. As she folded her arms before her chest, she said, I didn't think you'd come here to look for me. I'm the winner. Huh. Isn't Yale getting a divorce from you? As a woman, I pity you. Do your parents know how shameless you are? Do they know that their sweet daughter is such a shameless woman? Charmaine questioned the young woman. They know. Yale is rather generous with my parents, and my parents understand me. Be more big-hearted, Charmaine. Just sign the divorce agreement and don't make yourself so miserable. Yes, I'm going to get the divorce, but I'm also not going to let you live a good life. With that said, Charmaine grabbed Angelina's hair and kicked the latter's stomach. Angelina's pregnancy had shown signs of a possible miscarriage. For the sake of having power over Tanner Group, she had always been extremely cautious with the pregnancy. Yet at that moment, she received a painful kick to her belly, causing her to break out in a cold sweat. However, Charmaine was still not satisfied. Consumed by fury, she continued to beat Angelina even as the latter was strewn onto the ground. You little tramp. Since your parents obviously didn't teach you how to be a decent human being, I will gladly give you a lesson today. Did you think you were almighty and could steal someone's husband just because you're young? Did you think that you'll always be young? Charmaine was filled with nothing but rage. She had always been one that valued her reputation. Not only did Angelina ruin her family, but the former was bragging about stealing her husband in front of her. How could Charmaine possibly allow Angelina to leave unscathed? Squatting on the ground, Angelina wrapped her arms around her belly in a fierce attempt to protect the child inside her. Please, please, please. Please don't let anything happen to the child. After all, she was depending on the child to obtain everything that she had ever wanted. Don't act rashly, Charmaine. What you're doing is against the law. Finding her voice again, Angelina barked at Charmaine. Turning a deaf ear to the threat, Charmaine grabbed Angelina by her hair and flung her against the wall. So what if it's against the law? I'm gonna make sure you get a miscarriage today. Do you think Yale would do something to stop me? I believe only you would have your eyes on a man like him. But you don't really want him, do you? It's Tanner Group that you have your eyes on. By the way, I forgot to mention, Tanner Group does not belong to Yale. It belongs to Sophie. You've miscalculated. Once Charmaine had quelled her anger, she left Angelina's house without a second look. It was only after Charmaine had left did Angelina notice something amiss. As she wiped her inner thigh with her hand, a sticky substance caught her attention. In an instant, she realized she was sitting in a pool of blood. Ah! Angelina was beginning to panic. Her mind was filled with worry for her child. If she were to lose the child, she would have lost her ticket to Tanner Group. In the midst of her panic, she called Yale and got him to rush over. The moment Yale opened the front door, he was shocked by the scene that was playing in front of him. Angelina's lower body was covered in fresh blood. The porcelain white skin of her legs was tainted by deep scarlet. At the sight of Yale, Angelina burst into tears. "Darling, please save our baby." Angelina sobbed. "I don't want to lose this child. You should know how much I love this child." Yale immediately dialed 911. However, upon seeing the sheer volume of blood, he knew that there was no hope for the child to survive. Soon, the ambulance arrived to carry Angelina to the hospital. As expected, the child could not be saved. When Angelina caught wind of the news, she began to bawl uncontrollably. "I am so sorry, darling. It's all my fault. I couldn't protect our child. What on earth happened?" Yale's expression was dark. Everything was fine before this. Why did this happen so suddenly for no reason? Charmaine. It was Charmaine. She has gone mad, hitting and punching and kicking me like a psychopath. She's a murderess. A murderess, I say. Angelina wailed. What? Yale would never have expected Charmaine to do something like that. I've already explained it clearly to her, have I not? Darling, you must avenge our child. Our baby was innocent. Angelina begged. Don't you worry. I'll definitely give you an explanation. Just leave this to me. I'll handle it. Yale was livid. Storming out of the hospital, he headed straight to the Tanner residence. When he arrived, Charmaine was still awake, waiting for him. She knew that he would show up that night. At the sight of Charmaine sitting on the couch, Yale strode forward and slapped her across the face without saying a word. Charmaine, do you know what you've done? Don't you know that's considered murder? Yale exploded in anger. You killed my child. I will not let you get away with this. Ha! Charmaine snickered. Really? I'd like to see how an adulterer and an adulteress can claim self-righteousness. How can he be so shameless? Charmaine could not help but wonder. After all, they were not divorced yet, and Yale had already had a child with someone else. Not once had he considered the situation in Charmaine's shoes. You. Go ahead. Sue me. What's the worst that could happen? I'll just see you in hell. Charmaine mocked. Their social circle was not wide. Once word about Yale's act of infidelity got out, he would no longer be able to show his face in his social circle. You. Yale, I will divorce you. As Charmaine spoke, a thought popped inside her head. Is this karma for what I have done? Upon hearing the commotion, Caleb and Willow came down the stairs. When Caleb saw Charmaine's swollen cheek, he was infuriated. Dad, just get a divorce if you want one. Is there a need to get physical? How can a man hit his own wife? Caleb snapped. Do you guys know what she has done? Yale's index finger trembled as he pointed at Charmaine accusingly, outraged by her audacity. You're the one who made me do whatever I did. A look of nonchalance was written on Charmaine's face. At that point in time, she knew her marriage was in shambles. Fine. Let's get a divorce. From today onward, we will have nothing to do with each other. Let's just call it a day. Yale did not want to let the situation spiral out of control for fear that Sophie would find out. If the news overreached Sophie, Yale knew that the rest of his days would be miserable. Thus, there was nothing else he could do but drop the subject. With a frustrated huff, Yale left without turning back. After Yale's departure, Willow walked over to comfort Charmaine. Are you okay, Mom? Willow did not know what else to say. All she could focus on were the drastic changes that took place in her family, wondering what went wrong. Charmaine shook her head. Your dad and I will definitely be getting a divorce. You two are grown up now. Promise me you'll take good care of yourselves, Charmaine said dejectedly. She had finally realized how pitiful she was, having nothing and no one at such an advanced age. Just get divorced, Mom. There's no reason to keep holding on. Don't worry, Mom. I'll take care of you. Caleb embraced Charmaine affectionately. No matter what she had done in the past, she was still his mother, and he would always protect her. Then I shall rely on you starting from now, Caleb. Without saying anything else, Charmaine retired to her room. Caleb, is this really what's going to become of our family? Is there really no chance to salvage this? With a sigh, Caleb gave Willow an affectionate pat on the cheek. You should grow up too, Willa. Don't make Mom worry about you anymore. There was nothing else Caleb could say to console his sister. Yale had managed to divorce Charmaine, just as he wanted. However, Angelina was not satisfied with how things had played out. In her mind, she had lost a child, but Charmaine did not lose anything. It was unfair. Yale's patience soon thinned from Angelina's constant whining. Are you done with your tantrum, Angelina? If you want to continue making a fuss out of this, let's just break up. Yale had not been expecting a crazy, nagging woman. He only wanted a trophy wife. Angelina stared at him incredulously. What did you just say? Yale, I've been loyal to you since young. Are you disdaining me now? Didn't you say that Tanner Group belongs to you? How come I can't even step foot inside Tanner Group? Angelina's goal had been clear since the beginning. All she wanted was Tanner Group. Stop daydreaming. Tanner Group belongs to Sophie, and don't even try to provoke her. You're no match for her at all. Yale no longer had the patience to deal with Angelina. After all, he had money. Why would he be worried about having no women by his side? If she chose to act crazy, then he could choose not to show any mercy. Yale, come back. I just had a miscarriage, and you want to leave? How can you be so heartless? Angelina was on the verge of collapsing. I've just miscarried, so how can this man be so impatient? Well, it makes sense. He already has 3 children of his own. So, the child that was in my womb was practically insignificant to him. He doesn't care about me at all. Tears streamed down Angelina's face, but she couldn't make Yale come back. At this moment, Angelina finally understood that the sweet words men uttered in bed were all lies. However, she couldn't just give up on Tanner Group. She couldn't do it. She had given her first time to that old man, all for the sake of Tanner Group's stocks. No matter what, she wouldn't give up. Sophie went to the Institute of Physics, where she had already calculated the data Ross had asked for. Seeing the data in his hands, Ross was extremely excited. Initially, he didn't have much hope. He just wanted Sophie to give it a try. However, Sophie didn't disappoint him. Sophie, you're truly amazing. You're a genius. I knew you would be a perfect fit for our Institute of Physics. Come join us. We really need you. What kind of institute wouldn't want such talent? Sophie shook her head. Mr. Campbell, if you ever encounter any problems that you can't solve, I can help, but I'm really busy. She already had a lot to do with the medical association. Ah, child. Knowing that Sophie was determined, Ross didn't want to push her further. Okay. If I have any unsolvable problems in the future, I'll ask for your help. Sure. Mr. Campbell, I have something else to do. I'll head back now. Sophie got up. As she had delivered the results, she could go back now. Let me walk you out. Ross got up, wanting to see her off. No need, I'm going to see my brother. Sophie went to find Caleb, who was working on a set of data. He truly enjoyed being there. Seeing Caleb so content, Sophie felt that everything was worth it. When Caleb saw Sophie, he stopped his work and went out with her. Let's have a cup of coffee, Caleb suggested. Sophie had no objections, so the two of them went to a cafe and ordered 2 cups of coffee. Sophie, Mom and Dad are getting divorced. She needed to know about this. After all, she was also a part of this family. Oh, wasn't this an inevitable thing? Those two had long been living in a loveless marriage. I support their divorce. If two people are so unhappy together, it's better to just get divorced. Yes. Sophie had a broad-minded view of this. If they stayed together, they would only cause more harm to each other. Marriage is truly scary. Caleb had always been engrossed in his physics research. He had been in a relationship before, but he broke up with the girl because he had to go abroad. Seeing their parents in such a state, he had no desire to get married at all. Well, it's not that terrifying. It all depends on the people involved. Both of them have their own personality issues. Neither one of them could be wholly blamed for their problems. Their personalities contributed to the current mess. Yes, they both have issues. Even as their son, Caleb hadn't played his role well. All right, let's not talk about the things that will affect your mood. Are you preparing for the wedding now? If there's anything I can help with, please let me know. Caleb had never been married, so he didn't know what needed to be prepared. Nonetheless, he was her brother, and he really wanted to do something for her. Caleb, focus on your work at the Research Institute. Tristan is taking care of the wedding preparations. Yeah, Tristan treats you well. I know you'll be happy, and that puts me at ease. Caleb, you should find a girlfriend too. Their family situation was an unhappy one. Building their own families and living their own lives might bring the warmth they had been longing for to their hearts. Okay. After parting with Caleb, Sophie went to meet Tristan. They were going to try on wedding attire in the afternoon. When she arrived at Lombard Group, Tristan was still busy. He needed to complete a whole day's work in one morning, so he was very occupied. The secretary prepared tea for Sophie and then went back to work. In the meantime, Sophie also looked through one of Tanner Group's proposals. Victor's injuries hadn't fully healed yet, but he was already back to his position as he couldn't wait any longer. As a result, she had gained some free time. Victor skimmed through the proposal Sophie had sent. Indeed, Sophie would never disappoint them. After she made some modifications to the proposal, its quality improved significantly. Sophie was truly impressive. Mr. Victor, didn't Ms. Sophie ask you to rest in the hospital for a few more days? Why are you so eager to come back? Carl couldn't help but ask when he saw Victor's appearance. There's nothing much to do in the hospital all day. I feel more at ease returning to my workstation. Wedding attire. Victor was someone who couldn't stay idle. Tanner Group is on the rise at the moment, and at such a time, I want to be with everyone. Victor truly didn't want to miss any stage of Tanner Group's progress. Sophie's development projects were simply astonishing. Being able to stay by her side meant he could truly learn a lot from her. Tristan finished his work and returned to the CEO's office, where he saw her sitting attentively on the couch. He walked over. Have you been waiting for a long time? Not that long. It's almost 1 o'clock now. Let's go have lunch first. She wanted to eat with him, so she didn't eat by herself and waited until now instead. Sure, let's go. Tristan asked his secretary to come in and organize the documents, gave some instructions, and then took Sophie out for lunch. I originally wanted to take you to the staff cafeteria in Lombard Group, but it's already this late, so I guess everyone has finished eating. We'll go there next time. Yeah, there will be plenty of opportunities in the future. After all, she was a family member of Lombard Group now. Naturally, she could have meals at the staff cafeteria. The two of them had lunch, and afterward, Tristan took her directly to the century-old wedding shop. Sophie hadn't paid much attention to this kind of shop before, but upon seeing the name of the shop, she was surprised. When she saw the wedding gown, she was even more astonished. The gown was truly beautiful. She had wanted a traditional style wedding, and he had prepared the perfect gown for her. Sophie walked over and stood in front of the wedding gown, which was embroidered with golden thread. There was another set of clothes, clearly a men's suit, also embroidered with golden thread. She didn't know much about embroidery, but she could tell that a lot of effort had been put into the wedding attire. The boss of the prosperous Wedding Bells boutique personally came out to greet them. They were one of their biggest clients, and anyone who came here to customize wedding attire was undoubtedly wealthy and distinguished. The master tailor personally introduced the two of them to the clothes. It took us over 3 months to create these 2 sets of wedding attire. The patterns embroidered on them were done by my own hands. His ancestors specialized in making wedding attire for royalty, so he had great confidence in his craftsmanship. Thank you. Tristan was extremely satisfied with these 2 sets of wedding attire. Just by looking at them, one's gaze would be captivated. This is the tiara, and it's ready as well. The master tailor had someone bring out the tiara. The tiara was exquisite, surpassing even the ones worn by previous queens. Mr. Tristan, please take a look. Do you have any other requests? How about you try them on today? If there are any issues concerning the fit, I can still make adjustments for you. In reality, there was no need to try them on. He had complete confidence in himself. As long as the measurements were accurate, there wouldn't be any problems. No need. We are very satisfied. Wearing these clothes would be quite a complicated process, so as long as there were no issues, it would suffice. The tiara was exceptionally exquisite, but it required a special hairstyle to wear it. Okay, no problem. Just deliver them directly to the address I provided. As for payment, I will transfer it to your account later. Thank you, Mr. Tristan. I wish both of you a lifetime of happiness. After leaving Wedding Bells, the two of them walked hand in hand on the streets. They were both busy people and rarely had time to stroll around like this. In the evening, the group of friends gathered for drinks under the night sky. Isabel also joined them and immediately approached Sophie when she saw her. I heard you went to try on your wedding attire today. How was it? I'm sure the wedding gown is beautiful. Her uncle had never disappointed anyone in this regard. We went and checked it out. It's luxurious and beautiful. I love it. Only after seeing the wedding gown did Sophie truly feel that she was getting married. Before that, she didn't really have any feelings about it. Great. Can I go and take a look tonight? I'm really curious. I heard that the master tailor's ancestors used to tailor clothes specifically for royalty. His craftsmanship must be impeccable. Yeah, you can go and see tomorrow. It was probably too late to go there today. Okay, then I'll go with Aunt Sarah tomorrow. They were all filled with anticipation for the wedding. The few men hadn't had a relaxing outing in a long time. As the 4 of them sat together, they discussed the wedding preparations. Tristan, if you need any help with the wedding, please let us know. They had never been married before, so they didn't know what preparations were needed. However, if help was needed, they wouldn't hesitate to help. I can handle everything. Preparing for these things made Tristan happy. He didn't want anyone else to help. This was his and Sophie's wedding, and he wanted to personally participate in every detail without relying on others. Are you really that happy getting married? Is it really so blissful? After all, Tristan was willing to prepare everything eagerly. Yes, I'm absolutely happy. As Tristan was marrying Sophie, he naturally felt very happy. Ugh. You being like this makes me want to get married too. Charles took a sip of his drink. Unfortunately, he didn't even have a girlfriend. It was quite pitiful. You can find a girlfriend now. Charles always had the appearance of a playboy. Being the person he was, it was only a matter of time before he got beaten up by a woman. I want to find one too, but my destined true love just won't come to me. What can I do? Charles said helplessly. Thinking of Winter, Charles felt even more annoyed. Since returning from Fandar, she has been gloomy and unhappy. However, this time, she should have truly given up. Otherwise, she wouldn't have become so desolate. What's wrong? It's Winter. Ever since she came back from Fandar, she has been locking herself up at home. I really don't know what to do. He was truly at a loss because of his little sister. She probably has already given up. As long as she gives up, that's good. There's no need to think too much about it. Felix also understood Winter's temperament, but now everyone was busy with Tristan and Sophie's wedding. She should really give up. If she continues to be entangled in the situation, no one can help her. Yeah, you're right. Forget it. Anyway, if she doesn't face the truth herself, no one can do anything for her. Sophie had already shown enough grace toward her. She even had Winter brought back. When it came to matters of the heart, there were no rules. Tristan never gave Winter any hope. It was her own unwillingness to give up on him. Sophie, won't you regret it? After all, you're still so young and you're choosing to get married now. Her youth has only just begun. Yet here she is, about to bury herself in the grave of marriage. No regrets. Apart from him, I don't think I'll ever meet someone better. Thus, this was enough for her. Sophie was very busy in the following days. Tanner Group was thriving and had become the top conglomerate in Jipsdale. In just 2 years, Sophie graduated from the University of Medicine. Today was the day of her graduation. Early in the morning, Sophie went to the Medical Association. The current Medical Association had become the world's strongest international medical association, surpassing even the International Medical Association of England. Georgina was indeed suitable for management work, and she enjoyed it herself. She didn't have talent in medicine, but she could manage the Medical Association in an orderly manner. Barney had delegated a lot of work to Georgina, and Aria's reputation had become even more renowned. People from all over the world went to him for surgery, but he decided to treat patients based on his mood. His relationship with Georgina was very good too. The weather was beautiful on this day, and as Sophie thought about the recent events, a smile appeared on her face. Her life had gotten better and better since coming back from Horrington. She really enjoyed her life now. At 10 o'clock, Tristan came to pick her up and brought her the graduation gown. Let's go. Although you completed 5 years of study in just 2 years, we still need to take some photos today. Even though she was graduating, it was still necessary to take photos to commemorate her university life. After all, this was part of her life. Yeah. Sophie had just come out of the laboratory with her hair casually tied up in a bun. When she saw him, she let her hair loose. When conducting experiments, she needed to tie up her hair, but she usually preferred to leave it down so her scalp would be more comfortable. This casual gesture of hers was incredibly charming to watch. Sophie, did you forget? You said you'd marry me after graduating from university. And today, you've graduated. Let's not wait any longer. Let's get married ahead of time. He really didn't want to wait any longer. But hasn't old Mr. Lombard already picked out the date? Would it really be okay to change it now? William had hired an expert to pick out an auspicious date. We can always do that again. Let's just get married earlier. I really don't want to wait for another second. Okay. I'll go with whatever you say. I have nothing against it. If he wants to get married, then let's get married. It's just a matter of time anyway. Tristan took her by the hand. I love you, Sophie. He just couldn't help himself when it came to her. He loved her so much. He wanted to be with her for the rest of his life and never be apart. I love you too, Sophie replied, beaming. She had become much more jolly ever since they got together. The two arrived at the University of Medicine to find people taking photos in their robes everywhere. They had been here for 7 years. It was only natural that many felt reluctant to leave after having remained all these years. Mistakes don't matter that much at university. One would feel shameful at most, but time eventually passes and those embarrassing moments will be forgotten. However, things are different outside of school. The challenges one has to experience in society are far more ruthless and sinister. As soon as Sophie arrived, all the seniors she was classmates with called her over. Hurry, Sophie. You're the only one left. They hadn't spent much time with her. She was a medical genius, after all, And it had only taken her 2 years to achieve what had taken them 7 years. Even so, she was still their classmate, and having a group photo at graduation was a must. Tristan helped Sophie wear her hat before adjusting her robe. Go on. They're all waiting for you. This was Sophie's moment, and she deserved every second of it. Okay. Wait for me here, the young woman responded before trotting over to join her peers. Although she didn't enjoy being photographed, she knew it was necessary and thus squeezed herself into a corner. Despite being dressed in the same attire as everyone else, Sophie was still the most captivating one out of the bunch. It didn't matter what she wore, she always shone the brightest. All right, is everyone ready? Look over here and wait for my count, the photographer instructed, adjusting the position of the camera for the last time. Okay, smile. 1, 2, 3. With that, Sophie's time at the University of Medicine had come to an end. The woman had only spent 2 years there, but she had learned everything she needed to learn along with everything she shouldn't have learned. In truth, she enjoyed her days here. After the photo-taking session, a senior approached her. I really like you, Sophie. Can I please have your number? Everyone at the University of Medicine knew that Sophie had a boyfriend, so this man could only like her from afar. Yet, now that everyone was going their separate ways, all he wanted was her phone number. I'm sorry, but I have a boyfriend. He'll be upset if I give you my number. Sophie genuinely cared about Tristan's feelings and would never do anything that made him unhappy. This was how she showed respect for their relationship. Tristan had never had much of a sense of security in the first place because of their age gap, so why would she still do something to upset him more? No one should ever do something to make their partner feel insecure. Despite feeling slightly let down, Sophie's senior continued to smile. I was just shooting my shot. It's okay if you say no. Let's have a reunion next time. She's always treated her boyfriend really well and would never get close to any other guy. She must really love him. All the best to you, Sophie. I hope you'll always be happy. A prodigy like her would be looked up to no matter where she went. She certainly had many admirers too. All the best to you too. Isabel and the others soon arrived, knowing that she was graduating today. Her popularity had skyrocketed due to her works. So many people rushed over to take photos with her the moment she showed up, and Felix was quickly shoved aside. Still, he had somewhat grown accustomed to such situations and merely stood next to Tristan. Seriously, Tristan, your girl's out of this world. It took everyone else 7 years to graduate from this place, but she only spent 2 years here. Aren't we all human beings? Why the stark difference? Why? Is there a problem? Do you know why she wanted to graduate so quickly? It's because she wants to marry me right after she's done here, Tristan said. Felix was speechless. Why do I still have to deal with other people flaunting their relationships? How am I even supposed to respond? But whatever. He looks really happy now, at least. I don't remember the last time he smiled like this. Isabel went over to the men when she was done taking photos with her fans and giving them her autograph. Sophie joined the group too. Come on. Aren't we here to take pictures? Help us take one, Felix. Isabel and Tristan stood next to Sophie on each side, but the next moment, Tristan held Sophie by the shoulder, and the woman leaned slightly toward him. Isabel scowled after seeing the photo. Why do I feel as if you're both planning to Photoshop me out of this picture? It's way too obvious. They're being all lovey-dovey with each other, and I'm here standing there looking awkward. What the heck is this? You've always been a third wheel. Don't you know that? Tristan commented scathingly. It was the truth. Isabel was bereft of words. Can I please have a picture with Sophie, Uncle Tristan? Just the two of us. She had put off some very important work just to be here today. Tristan wasn't so petty as to turn her down. He walked away, allowing Isabel to sit next to Sophie, their backs leaning against each other. You'll be a full-fledged member of society from now on, Sophie. In truth, the woman had already been one long ago. Graduating from university at the age of 20 was an impeccable and awe-inspiring feat. Yeah. She had finally graduated and could marry the man of her dreams. When they were done taking photos, Sophie noticed the Chancellor of the University of Medicine waiting for her nearby. She walked toward him. Is there something you'd like to see me for, Mr. Sawyer? Well, Sophie, I think you should take on a postgraduate degree. It'd be such a waste if someone of immense talent like you were to stop here. He was attempting to make her stay. She'd be the pride of our university, a maker of history. Mr. Sawyer, I think you're aware that I haven't actually spent much time on campus throughout my 2 years here. She always had places to be. That's not a problem. You can just come by to do your research whenever you have the time. I have no expectations regarding your attendance. All he wanted was for her to continue studying here. You're a star, Sophie. I don't want you to enter society too soon. Contribute to research in medicine instead. Your future is limitless. Dominic really cherished talented students. All right. I'll think about it. The man was exasperated. Everyone wanted to get their hands on someone like Sophie. By now, there would surely be so many other institutions out there trying to get her to choose them. Let me know if there's anything I can help you with. Don't be shy. It's an honor to have you as a student here. Thank you, Mr. Sawyer. Dominic had always been nice to her. Unfortunately, she really wasn't sure if she could afford to stay. She would be getting married and have her own children after that. All of these would take time. What's wrong? Tristan came over after the Chancellor had left. We're done here, so let's go home. Time sure flies by, huh? It feels like I've only been here a while, but it's been 2 years, Sophie lamented, having originally come to Jipsdale because of her grandfather. Now she wasn't leaving, and it was also because of him. Tristan wrapped an arm around her shoulder as they walked out together. Yeah, time does pass quickly. But that's not exactly the case for me, because I've been wanting to take you as my wife ever since the day I met you. The past 2 years had been especially agonizing for him. He now felt that he had finally gotten what he had been waiting for all this while. Thank you for waiting for me. I won't make you wait anymore, Sophie promised. Tristan stopped in his tracks, pulled her into an embrace, and kissed her. That's right. I won't have to wait any longer. She'll be my wife and the mother of our child, and we'll grow closer than before. We'll never be apart again. William didn't have much to say about Tristan wanting to change the wedding date, although it was indeed a little troublesome to do so now. Come on, Dad, Sarah urged. If he wants to get married sooner, let him. You know how long he's waited. She knew how much her younger brother loved Sophie. He had been devoting himself fully to the woman he loved all this while. Besides, the sooner he marries Sophie, the sooner you'll get to have grandkids. Isn't that what you've always wanted? Why is he hesitating when his dream is about to come true? With that, William nodded. All right, I understand. I'll get the expert to pick another date. It's not that I don't want the wedding to happen sooner. I'm just worried we'd be in a rush if we were to have it right away. We haven't even prepared anything. It'll be the first Lombard wedding in a long time. It has to be nothing short of spectacular. Everything's pretty much ready by now, Dad, Tristan assured. Now was the perfect time, and there was nothing to be concerned about. Very well. I'll call the expert now, but you'll have to inform Sophie's parents about the change of plans. This was the least they could do as a sign of respect. Regardless of Sophie's relationship with the Tanner family, this was still common courtesy. I will, Dad. Don't worry. Given this was Sophie's wedding, her family would naturally have to be in attendance. No matter what things were like in the past, those family members no longer dared treat her with contempt now that she was with him. After dinner, Sophie and Tristan took a stroll in the Lombard residence garden. The ground was full of exquisite flowers that William had gone through painstaking efforts to nurture. Old Mr. Lombard really takes good care of these flowers. Yeah. These were all left behind by my mother. He didn't know how to care for them at first, but he later really went out of his way to learn. It was clear how much William loved his wife and remembered her through these flowers. Men of the Lombard family love so deeply, Sophie exclaimed while holding Tristan's hand. Do you have any memories of your mother? The man shook his head. She left when I was really young, so I have no recollection of her. Their family was somehow just different without the woman of the house. Thankfully, William had raised his children well to ensure they never went down the wrong path. Moreover, all three of them were brilliant in everything they did. Tristan had only responded with a simple sentence, but Sophie knew how much of an impact not having a mother could have on someone. She hugged him tightly. From now on, we'll always be with our kids. We'll spend our days with them and watch them grow up. William invited the expert over to pick another auspicious date that Tristan was especially satisfied with. There were lots to prepare as the wedding drew near, but with Tristan taking care of almost everything, all Sophie had to do was cooperate. Everyone in the Lombard family busied themselves, but William was the happiest among them all and helped with the preparations in spite of his old age. He would get upset if anyone didn't let him help. As someone who could manage a large international corporation like Lombard Group, Tristan certainly had no problem setting up the wedding. Time went by in a flash. It was now 2 days before the wedding, and Sophie's friends had brought her out to celebrate her last few moments of being a bachelorette. Needless to say, they were about to go wild. The three women arrived at a nightclub. This is your last moment as a bachelorette, Sophie. You'll soon be known as Mrs. Lombard. Isabel exclaimed. This is all happening so quickly. She's still so young. What if she's just being hasty? That's right. You won't get to party like this anymore after you get married, so we've arranged a little something special for you today. Cecilia added with a sinister laugh. Sophie immediately had a bad feeling about this. Who knows what these two women are capable of when they are together? What is it? Sophie sat down with a raised brow. She truly looked forward to marriage. Why wouldn't she be excited about marrying the man she loved so dearly? As Cecilia clapped, a dozen muscular men suddenly appeared on stage. Sophie's vision went dark. I knew it. Something crazy always happens whenever these girls plan something together. Well, do you like it? Cecilia and I paid to have this prepared just for you. Sophie was tongue-tied. They actually paid for this? Come on. At least take a look, would you? It cost a lot to hire them. Isabel said excitedly. Frankly, none of these men can compare to Tristan. Nothing aroused her more than the sight of Tristan's body. Isabel, Cecilia, and Sarah were stunned into an awkward silence. It's fine. Let them leave. If Tristan knew what was going on, he would go mad. Besides, she really had no interest in those men. You're going to dismiss them just like that after we've spent so much money on them? It's not such a big deal. This is your last chance. If she doesn't watch the show now, she will have no other chance in the future. I'm not even remotely interested in having a chance to watch them. Let them leave, and let us girls just chat. All she wanted on a day like that was to spend time bonding with her girlfriends. Okay then. Isabel was a little disappointed. Although she was completely besotted with Felix, she did not think there was anything wrong with feasting her eyes on other men. Cecilia, too, was sorry to see the hunky men leave. It's the 21st century. It's not wrong to look at a little eye candy. Tristan's really got you in the palm of his hand. Cecilia grumbled. After you're married and have children, you won't be able to do such things anymore. Tristan will never stop me from doing what I want. Sophie was deadly sure of that. Tristan would do anything to make her happy. Well, that's true. He loves you so much that he won't restrict you from doing anything even after marriage. Cecilia sounded a little envious. I don't look too bad, but why can't I meet someone I really like? Although Cecilia was still too young to worry, the fact that her best friend was getting married and living her happily ever after life made her want the same for herself as well. She was rather depressed. Isabel patted Cecilia comfortingly. Don't worry, Cecilia. You'll definitely meet someone who will sweep you off your feet one day. The time had simply not come for Cecilia yet. If you say so. Ah, Sophie. You must be happy. God is fair. Sophie has been through so much pain and bitterness in the past. She deserves to have met Tristan. Well, we'll all have our happy ending. Sarah knew that Cecilia had a crush on Sean, but Sean was a difficult person to deal with. She understood how Cecilia felt. Unrequited love is one of the most painful emotions that one can feel for another person. Cecilia, Sean has always had someone in his heart. I think it's best that you forget about him. Falling in love with such a person would be painful, and the pain would not be worth it. Why are you bringing this up, Sarah? It's Sophie's bachelorette party today. Let's not talk about that. I know there's no hope for Sean and me, and besides, I don't like him as much as you think I do. Such a cold and detached man like Sean is not suitable for me at all. I won't go looking for trouble. Cecilia was no fool. Okay. All the others knew that she was lying, but there was nothing they could do about it. Cecilia's emotions were her own private business, and no one else had the right to interfere in matters of her heart. Okay, let's all have a drink. Everybody must get drunk tonight. It's a happy day today. Yes. Nobody goes home until they're drunk. Isabel echoed the sentiment, raising her glass to toast the others. The girls were close friends, and it was because of Sophie that they were all brought together. Later in the night, Butterfly made an appearance bearing a gift for Sophie. Isabel was curious to know what Butterfly had brought. Butterfly, what did you bring with you? Can we have a look? Of course it has to be something amazing. Something that Sophie will find useful. Butterfly could not help smiling when she thought of the gift hidden under the wrapping paper. Her mischievous smile heightened all the other girls' curiosity. So, what is it? Sarah squealed impatiently. Ah, it's not for your eyes. This is private. Sophie, I'm sure Mr. Tristan will love this gift. Sophie was not sure how to respond to Butterfly's teasing remark. Tristan will love the gift that is meant for me? What does that even mean? Butterfly, what is it? I'm even more curious now. What is it that she is so sure Uncle Tristan will love? Do you guys really want to know? Butterfly smiled impishly. Yes, the girls chorused. Sophie was beginning to feel afraid. Did Butterfly buy me something weird? Can I refuse your gift? She did not want to receive Butterfly's gift anymore after seeing her devilish expression. No, you cannot refuse. I took a long time to pick it out. Sophie, do you believe in my taste? Butterfly replied, making Sophie's stomach flutter nervously. What's wrong with these girls? Sophie begrudgingly accepted the gift and put it aside to be unwrapped later. She wanted to wait until she got home before she found out what strange gift Butterfly had given her. Really, Butterfly? You teased everyone and got us all so worked up, but you refused to reveal the gift. How mean of you. Butterfly ignored the other girls. After all, the gift was for Sophie alone. Why are the girls so nosy? Don't worry, girls. When it's your turn to get married, I'll definitely get each one of you the same gift. I don't play favorites. Okay then. If you say so. We look forward to receiving our gifts. Don't let us down. Cecilia drawled. Lately, she had been filming a new movie. However, she had taken 5 days off because of Sophie's impending nuptials. The director was not happy with her, but it was her best friend's wedding. She would not miss it for the world. Sophie, let me sing you a song. Cecilia said abruptly, jumping to her feet. The other girls were confused. Cecilia was an actress. She had never before sung in public. Can she even sing? Sure. Cecilia got to her feet and chose a song. It was their favorite song when they were in high school. As the song began to play, Sophie felt as if she had been transported back to that time years ago. Cecilia had always been by her side during those years, so she had not felt so lonely. Right from the start, Cecilia had already missed her cue. Sophie softly whispered the words, and Cecilia joined in, finding the rhythm. So what if there have been so many difficulties in the past? What's important is that Sophie is happy now, and I'm glad that Sophie has found happiness. Cecilia's singing left much to be desired, but it was a poignant song, and the girls' hearts were moved. I can't believe you're getting married, Sophie. Cecilia was still in disbelief that her best friend was about to become a married woman. No matter how reluctant she was to see her friend walk down the aisle and leave her in her lonely singlehood, she still hoped fervently that Sophie would be happy. Sophie went over to Cecilia and wrapped her in a tight hug. Cecilia, I'm so thankful to have met you when I was at my lowest. It really was the greatest blessing of her life. Cecilia had really made those hard times easier. Yes, me too. It was getting late, and the wedding was happening the very next day. Tristan had come personally to pick up Sophie. The other 4 men, too, had come along since they had been together earlier that night. Tristan had asked them to fetch the other girls home. Cecilia was a tad flustered to see Sean again. But being an award-winning actress, she could conceal all her emotions perfectly. She acted all nonchalant instead. Make sure that the 3 of you send them back safely, Sophie said, singling Sean and Cecilia out in particular. Since she likes him so much, I'll create an opportunity for her so she won't have any regrets even if things still end up not working out between them at the end of the day. Even after getting into the car, she remained concerned about Cecilia. Cecilia worried her the most. With Sean being the person she likes, she's destined to face unsurmountable hardships. What are you thinking about? While maneuvering the steering wheel with one hand, Tristan grasped Sophie's hand with the other. Nothing much. I'm just worried about Cecilia. She's in an abysmal state, and it also shows during her filming recently. Because of Sean? Something or other must have happened between them. Yeah. Sophie kept no secrets with Tristan. All right, you'll be my bride tomorrow, so think about all that later. Sean is a rational person, and he knows what he's doing. Okay. Tristan drove Sophie to her mansion as she elected to have him pick her up from there the next day instead of the Tanner residence. It was late then, and he still had to make some preparations for the wedding reception tomorrow. At the door, he gathered her into his arms. It's late, so I won't be going in. Rest earlier after you go into the house. The makeup artists will be here at a little over 5 o'clock tomorrow, but there's no need to accommodate them. Make sure you have enough sleep. I've waited for such a long time anyway that a little longer won't make any difference. Okay. You too. Rest earlier when you get home. Having a wedding is awfully tiring. Although they had already simplified the procedures, it was ultimately a marriage ceremony, so it was still very much exhausting. Cecilia and Butterfly would be coming over that night to keep Sophie company. The mansion was enormous, so there was naturally room for them. In the end, even Isabel came. When Tristan saw that Felix had driven over, he shot the latter a look. Mr. Tristan, she's a bridesmaid too. Let her stay here as she wishes, Felix said helplessly. Fine then. But don't talk deep into the night, okay? Tristan instructed. Don't worry, Uncle Tristan. After Tristan and the others left, Sophie led the girls into the mansion. Morgan had been cleaning the place all this time. There was not a speck of dust to be found. As soon as Morgan heard movements, he sprang to his feet. He was exceedingly excited since he had watched Sophie grow up. Old Mr. Tanner loved Ms. Sophie most in the past. Now that she's getting married, he would definitely be over the moon if he were to learn about it in heaven. You're back, Ms. Sophie. I've already straightened all the rooms. Meanwhile, your wedding gown and accessories are in your room. Verily, he was ecstatic that he could personally witness Sophie getting married. The smile had never left his face in the past few days. Mr. Tristan is really a good man. Ms. Sophie will undoubtedly enjoy happiness all her days by marrying him. Why didn't you go to bed earlier when it's already this hour, Morgan? There are still a lot of things to do tomorrow. Go and rest. There's no need to bother about us. Okay. Don't stay up too late talking either when you've got to be a beautiful bride tomorrow, Ms. Sophie. I know. It was already late at night, but Isabel was not the least bit sleepy. She was thrilled to the core that Sophie was getting married. Gosh, what should I do? I'm not sleepy at all. Sophie, Stop. Okay, let's all turn in. We have to wake up early tomorrow to get our makeup done. As they would be having a traditional wedding, the makeup would take a long time. However, Tristan had hired a skilled styling team, so they probably would not disappoint. All right then. You rest earlier too. Isabel and Butterfly retired for the night. Cecilia, on the other hand, had yet to arrive. No one knew how things were presently going between her and Sean. When Sophie returned to her room and took in the things there, she still felt surreal. Am I truly getting married? Oh yes, I'm really marrying the man I love at 21 years old. Beyond a shadow of a doubt, we'll live happily ever after for the rest of our days. Meanwhile, Cecilia sat in the passenger seat, feeling pretty exasperated with the man who seemed to have something to say to her yet was hesitant to speak. Rest assured that I won't pester you endlessly, Mr. Burton. I'm not such a kind of woman. It was merely a one-night stand. I'm not that conservative. Arg. Why must he act as though he has suffered a great injustice? Despite being in the entertainment industry, I've always been chaste. I was also a virgin before I spent the night with him. That's not what I meant, Cecilia. If you want, we can get married. As a man, Sean felt that he should take responsibility for his actions. Never mind that. Isn't it better to find a man who truly loves me? Why should I marry one who doesn't? Cecilia swung open the car door, no longer willing to listen to him, not even for a second further. Only when she entered the mansion and stepped into the living room did she see that Sophie was still waiting for her there. Sophie was the person who understood her best in the entire world, and she had nothing to hide before her. I'm fine. Sophie hugged her tightly. At such a time, any words of comfort would appear superfluous. For that reason, she said nothing at all. Okay, go to sleep. You have to wake up early tomorrow to get your makeup done. It'll be a tiring day tomorrow. A glance at the time showed that it was already 11:30. Sophie needed to wake around 5 o'clock the following morning, so she went to bed after leading Cecilia to her room. She had no idea how others felt when they were going to get married, but she had always been looking forward to that day. As she was getting married tomorrow, she was so excited at that moment that sleep eluded her. She had always been calm and unruffled, especially after so many things had happened. No matter what she faced, she remained generally composed. Right then, however, she was really psyched. Likewise, Tristan remained wide awake at the Lombard residence. His dream was going to come true tomorrow, and he still found it too good to be true. Felix did not go home either that day. He was one of the groomsmen, so he decided to stay at the Lombard residence. At the sight of Tristan on pins and needles, he could not help bursting into laughter. He walked over and plopped down across from the man. Why are you not sleeping at this hour, Mr. Tristan? Even now, there are only a few hours left. Can you be in tip-top shape tomorrow? It's not that I don't want to sleep, but I can't. Truthfully, things have been smooth sailing for me in my entire life. No matter what I want, I can always obtain it effortlessly. But then, Sophie is the person I care about most. Honest to God, she's the only thing I'm most concerned about. Everything else doesn't matter. Yeah, we can all see that. How could we possibly fail to perceive that? She's utterly precious to him, and no one is allowed to touch or offend her.
Thank you for listening. If you have enjoyed this story, please like and share so others can see it too. Also hit the subscription button and notification bell so you can be notified on our next release. Thank you for your support. God bless you.